Welcome to Celestial Spices of the Dawnwhisper Tea, a soothing and enchanting sleep story designed to gently guide you to a peaceful night's rest. If you find tranquility in this tale and wish for more calming journeys to peaceful realms, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Before we step into the serene village of Willowbrook and meet Anya, the tea master, we'll begin with a gentle breathing guidance to help you unwind and prepare for the story ahead. If you prefer to drift directly into the narrative, you can find chapter timestamps in the description below. Now, find a comfortable position, letting your body settle into your bed or chair. Allow your muscles to soften, releasing any tension held from the day. Feel the support beneath you, cradling you in comfort. Imagine the gentle cascade of the Whispering Falls, its murmur washing away any lingering worries. Picture yourself in Willowbrook, surrounded by fragrant moon petal flowers and the promise of Anya's soothing Dawnwhisper Tea. Let's take a calming breath together. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose, drawing in the fresh scent of moon petal blossoms and the subtle spice of stardust cinnamon. Hold it for a moment and then exhale slowly through your mouth like a soft sigh, releasing any remaining stress. With each breath, feel your body becoming heavier, more relaxed. Imagine a gentle warmth spreading through your limbs, a comforting weight settling over you like a soft blanket. If your thoughts wander, simply acknowledge them without judgment and gently guide your attention back to your breath or the sound of my voice. There is nothing you need to do now, but listen and allow the story to carry you away to Willowbrook. Feel the gentle rhythm of the village, the peaceful flow of life as it unfolds. Let the promise of Dawnwhisper Tea and the serene atmosphere of Willowbrook envelop you, bringing you a sense of deep calm and preparing you for restful slumber. Chapter 1. The Gathering of Stardust. Cinnamon. The first hint of dawn painted the sky in the softest hues of lavender and rose, a gentle promise of the day to come. Anya stirred in her cozy cottage, the scent of dried herbs and moon petal blossoms lingering in the air from the day before. She stretched languidly, feeling the comforting weight of her woolen blanket, before rising to greet the quiet morning. The village of Willowbrook was still draped in a peaceful slumber, the only sound the constant, soothing murmur of the Whispering Falls nearby. Slipping into her soft linen robe, Anya padded barefoot across the cool stone floor of her cottage. She opened the wooden door, and a rush of fresh, dew-kissed air greeted her. The garden was bathed in the pre-dawn twilight. The moon petal flowers, still closed in their nocturnal sleep, shimmered with a pearly luminescence. The air was cool against her skin, a gentle, awakening touch. Following a winding path through her garden, Anya made her way towards the Whispering Falls. The path was soft underfoot, covered in moss and fallen petals. She could hear the gentle rush of water growing louder with each step, a constant calming rhythm that was the very heartbeat of Willowbrook. The scent of damp earth and blooming night flowers mingled with the crisp morning air. Nestled beside the waterfall, almost hidden amongst the ferns and moss-covered rocks, was Anya's secret spice garden. Here, sheltered from the harsher elements, grew the rare celestial spices that made her Dawnwhisper Tea so unique. Amongst them, the stardust cinnamon trees stood like silver sentinels, their bark faintly luminescent even in the dim light. Anya approached a young stardust cinnamon tree, its slender branches swaying gently in the morning breeze. The bark shimmered with a soft, warm light, like captured starlight. She reached out a hand, her fingers tracing the smooth, cool surface of the bark, feeling its subtle energy humming beneath her touch. It was a gentle, comforting vibration, like a whispered promise of peace. With practiced care, Anya selected a small silver knife from her woven basket. She spoke softly to the tree, a quiet murmur of gratitude and respect, before gently scoring a section of bark. The cinnamon scent, sweet and warm, immediately filled the air, mingling with the fragrance of the nearby waterfall and the awakening garden. Delicately, she peeled back the fragrant bark, revealing the cinnamon beneath, its color a warm, honeyed gold. She carefully placed the harvested bark into her basket, mindful not to take too much, ensuring the tree would continue to thrive and share its gifts. The texture of the bark was smooth and slightly yielding, like soft, aged leather. As she gathered the stardust cinnamon, the first rays of the sun peeked over the horizon, painting the sky in strokes of apricot and gold. The moon petal flowers in her garden began to unfurl, their petals revealing their soft, pastel hues. A gentle warmth began to spread through the air, chasing away the last vestiges of night's coolness. Anya breathed deeply, filling her lungs with the fresh, fragrant morning air, a sense of peaceful contentment settling over her. Chapter 2. The Whisper of Lunar Lavender. With her basket filled with fragrant stardust cinnamon, Anya retraced her steps through the awakening garden. The moon petal flowers were now fully open, their delicate petals catching the soft morning light like tiny luminous cups. Bees, still drowsy from the night, buzzed lazily amongst the blossoms, their gentle hum a soothing counterpoint to the murmur of the whispering falls. Back in her cottage, the sunlight streamed through the eastern window, warming the stone floor and casting long dancing shadows. Anya placed the basket of cinnamon on her work table, the sweet, spicy aroma filling the room. She moved to the opposite side of the cottage, where her herb drying racks hung near the sun-drenched south-facing window. Here, amongst bunches of drying herbs and flowers, hung bundles of lunar lavender. Their buds, a soft silvery gray, emitted a delicate calming fragrance that permeated the air. The scent was floral and slightly sweet, with an underlying note of peaceful tranquility. Sunlight warmed the lavender, intensifying its soothing aroma. Anya reached up and gently took down a bundle of lunar lavender. The dried stems rustled softly in her hands, a whisper-like sound. She carefully untied the bundle, letting the sprigs of lavender cascade into her open basket. The texture of the dried lavender was delicate and slightly brittle, the tiny buds easily separating from the stems. She sat at her work table, placing the lavender beside the stardust cinnamon. The aromas mingled together, creating a harmonious blend of sweet spice and floral tranquility. Anya inhaled deeply, feeling the calming scents ease any lingering tension in her shoulders and brow. The warmth of the sunlight on her skin added to the feeling of peaceful relaxation. With gentle fingers, Anya began to separate the lavender buds from their stems. The tiny buds, like miniature silver pearls, fell softly into a wooden bowl. The sound was quiet and rhythmic, a meditative repetition that calmed her mind. She worked slowly and deliberately, enjoying the tactile sensation of the dried lavender and its soothing fragrance. As she worked, Anya thought of the villagers and the peaceful dreams she hoped to bring them with her Dawnwhisper tea. She imagined them sipping the warm brew at twilight, their worries melting away with each fragrant sip, their minds drifting into restful slumber filled with gentle visions. The thought brought a quiet smile to her face. The morning hours passed peacefully, filled with the gentle rhythm of Anya's work and the soothing aromas of celestial spices. Sunlight streamed through the window, warming the cottage and illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. The whispering falls continued their constant murmur, a lullaby for the village. Anya felt a deep sense of contentment, surrounded by the tranquility of her cottage and the promise of the calming tea she was preparing to share. Chapter 3. The Blending of Celestial Spices. The afternoon sun cast long, warm shadows across Willowbrook, painting the stone cottages in hues of gold and amber. Inside her cottage, Anya moved to her spice grinding station, a sturdy wooden counter equipped with various pestles and mortars, each crafted from different types of wood and stone. The air was now richly fragrant, a complex blend of stardust cinnamon, lunar lavender, and the earthy aroma of the wood itself. Anya carefully measured portions of the dried stardust cinnamon bark into a smooth stone mortar. The cinnamon, now slightly drier after basking in the morning sun, crumbled easily under her touch. She selected a heavy wooden pestle, its surface worn smooth with years of use. The weight of the pestle felt grounding in her hand. With slow, rhythmic movements, Anya began to grind the cinnamon bark. The wood of the pestle against the stone mortar created a soft, rasping sound, a steady, grounding rhythm. The aroma of the cinnamon intensified as it was ground, releasing its warm, spicy essence into the air. The texture of the ground cinnamon became finer and finer, transforming from bark to a soft reddish-brown powder. Next, she added the lunar lavender buds to a smaller ceramic mortar. The lavender, already delicate, crumbled easily under the gentle pressure of a lighter bone pestle. The fragrance of the lavender bloomed anew as it was ground, its floral sweetness mingling with the warm spice of the cinnamon, creating a harmonious and soothing blend. The ground lavender became a soft, silvery gray powder, its texture almost velvety. Anya carefully combined the ground cinnamon and lavender in a larger wooden bowl. The two powders swirled together, their colors blending into a warm, muted hue. She gently mixed them with a wooden spoon, the rhythmic stirring a calming and meditative motion. The combined aroma was now deeply relaxing, promising tranquility and peaceful dreams. From a small earthenware jar, Anya took a handful of sunpetal ginger. These were not roots, but dried petals of a rare, sun-loving flower, each petal a vibrant golden yellow. They emitted a subtly spicy and invigorating scent, a counterpoint to the calming lavender and cinnamon. The texture of the dried petals was delicate and papery. She added the sunpetal ginger petals to the spice blend. their golden hue adding a touch of warmth to the muted colors. With gentle hands, she crushed the petals slightly, releasing their invigorating aroma. The scent now had a subtle, uplifting note, balancing the deeper, calming fragrances of the cinnamon and lavender. Finally, Anya held the bowl of blended spices close to her face, inhaling deeply. The aroma was a complex tapestry of scents: warm spice, floral sweetness, and subtle invigoration, all harmonizing into a deeply soothing and peaceful blend. She felt a profound sense of connection to these celestial spices, each gathered with care and intention, each contributing its unique magic to the Dawnwhisper Tea. A quiet sense of satisfaction settled over her, knowing she was one step closer to sharing this tranquility with her village. Chapter 4. The Brewing of Dawnwhisper Tea. As twilight began to paint the sky in soft shades of orange and purple, Anya prepared for the final step: brewing the Dawnwhisper Tea. She moved to her hearth, where a small fire crackled gently in the stone fireplace, casting a warm, flickering glow around the cottage. The air was cool now, the afternoon warmth giving way to the gentle embrace of evening. Anya filled a handcrafted ceramic teapot with fresh spring water, drawn earlier that day from a pure source high in the hills above Willowbrook. The teapot was a simple, elegant design, its smooth, cool surface comforting to the touch. She placed the teapot over the crackling fire, the gentle heat beginning to warm the water within. The soft crackling of the fire added to the cozy and peaceful atmosphere. While the water heated, Anya carefully measured the blended celestial spices into a small muslin bag. The soft fabric of the bag felt gentle against her fingertips. She tied the bag closed with a piece of natural twine, ensuring the spices would infuse into the water without leaving any sediment. The fragrant spice blend was now contained, ready to release its calming essence. The water in the teapot began to simmer, small bubbles rising to the surface. Anya carefully lifted the lid and gently placed the muslin bag of spices into the steaming water. The fragrant aroma of the spices immediately bloomed, filling the cottage with a soothing and inviting scent. The steam rising from the teapot carried the promise of tranquility and peaceful dreams. Anya lowered the heat, allowing the tea to steep gently over the simmering fire. The warm, fragrant steam enveloped her, easing any remaining tension from her day. She sat beside the hearth, watching the firelight dance on the cottage walls, listening to the soft crackling of the flames and the gentle murmur of the whispering falls, which seemed to grow louder in the evening quiet. The minutes passed slowly and peacefully, filled with the soothing sounds and scents of the brewing tea. Anya felt a deep sense of calm settle over her, the gentle rhythm of the evening preparing her for rest. She thought of the villagers gathering in the square, anticipating the warmth and tranquility of the Dawnwhisper Tea, and a feeling of quiet joy filled her heart. After allowing the tea to steep for the perfect amount of time, Anya carefully removed the teapot from the fire. The tea was now a warm golden hue, its fragrant steam rising in gentle wisps. She poured a small amount into a delicate porcelain cup, inhaling the rich aroma before taking a slow, deliberate sip. The tea was warm and soothing, its flavors a harmonious blend of spice, floral sweetness, and gentle warmth. The Dawnwhisper Tea was ready. Anya carefully placed the teapot and a tray of delicate porcelain cups onto a woven serving tray. She took a deep breath, feeling the peaceful energy of the tea infuse her, and prepared to share the tranquility of Dawnwhisper with her beloved village. Chapter 5. Sharing the Tranquility. Carrying the tray laden with Dawnwhisper tea, Anya stepped out of her cottage into the soft twilight of Willowbrook. The village square was bathed in the warm, gentle glow of lanterns hung from the ancient willow tree at its center. Villagers were already gathering, their voices a low, peaceful murmur in the still evening air. The scent of wood smoke from nearby hearths mingled with the fragrant aroma of her tea, creating a cozy and inviting atmosphere. As Anya approached the square, smiles greeted her, and the gentle murmur of conversation softened even further. Elder Rowan, the village elder, stepped forward to meet her, his eyes twinkling with warmth and welcome. He offered her a kind smile, his presence radiating peace and wisdom. Anya placed the tray on a low wooden table beneath the willow tree. The villagers gathered around, their faces expectant and relaxed. She began to pour the Dawnwhisper tea into the delicate porcelain cups, the warm golden liquid steaming gently in the cool evening air. The soft clinking of cups punctuated the quiet murmur of the square. The villagers accepted their cups with gratitude, inhaling the fragrant steam before taking their first sips. A collective sigh of contentment seemed to ripple through the square as the warm, soothing tea worked its gentle magic. Faces relaxed, shoulders softened, and a deeper sense of peace settled over the gathering. Elder Rowan took a sip of his tea, his eyes closing for a moment in appreciation. He opened them again, looking at Anya with a gentle smile. "Anya," he said softly, his voice carrying in the quiet square, "your Dawnwhisper tea is a true blessing to our village. It brings such peace and tranquility to our evenings." Anya smiled back, her heart filled with warmth. "It is my joy to share it, Elder Rowan," she replied softly. Anya smiled back, her heart filled with warmth. "It is my joy to share it, Elder Rowan," she replied softly. "I hope it brings peaceful dreams to everyone tonight." She watched as the villagers continued to sip their tea, their conversations becoming even quieter, their movements more languid. The gentle magic of the Dawnwhisper tea was weaving its spell, easing minds and preparing them for restful slumber. As the last rays of twilight faded and the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, a profound sense of communal peace settled over Willowbrook Square. The gentle murmur of the whispering falls, the soft glow of lanterns, the fragrant aroma of Dawnwhisper tea, and the quiet contentment of the villagers all blended together into a perfect harmony of tranquility. Anya watched them, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Her Dawnwhisper tea, brewed with celestial spices and infused with her gentle intention, was doing its work, bringing peace and serenity to her beloved community. As the evening deepened and yawns began to appear amongst the villagers, Anya knew it was time for them to return to their cozy cottages, their minds and bodies soothed, ready for a night of deep and peaceful sleep, filled with gentle dreams under the watchful stars.